So in this video, we're going to examine how to set up a system user and how to use Sling mapping to be able to run Java code. So here we're looking at our example in the article. We're going to click Get Employees. We're going to see it work. So it's pulling up JCR data, then it's converting it into the jQuery plugin and then displaying it. For the purpose of this demonstration, we're going to look at where the nodes are for the employees. So underneath content, we have unstructured node called employees, and then the child nodes, this node, are all the employee data. So employee 1, notice the properties, address, age, job, and so forth. All of these values are retrieved and then put into the grid that's shown on the UI. So looking at the Java here, we can see these lines of code from 62 to 65. We're using the data right, and this is what we set up in the Sling mapping service. We'll get to in a bit in this video, but this is letting us create a session object, as we see down here on line 71. So this is how you make your Java code work to get a session to retrieve JCR data. So in this example, we're using JCR SQL 2 to pull up data from the JCR. So notice here on line 83, we're using very much like this type of syntax because it's very much like SQL. So it's select all from unstructured, where is descendants, and then we're pointing to the location under the JCR where the employee nodes are. But all of this is possible by using these lines of code here and then creating a session object. So the point of this is you can't just use any user in the JCR. You've got to use a system user, and then you've got to successfully map it in the Sling mapping service, as we'll show later. So to create a new user or a system user, log into localhost 4502 CRX Explorer Index.jsp as shown in this URL. Click User Administration. Click Create System User. In the user ID, give it a name. So we're going to use data 2. We've already specified data as specified in the article, and then click this green checkbox. So now we've set it up, so we can see we have data 2, so we're good. Next thing we want to do is set permissions on the data 2 user. Now we want to set permissions on data 2 so we can access different parts of the JCR. For this purpose, we have data 2 here. We'll click on it, we'll go to permissions, and then we're just going to click all the permissions up here. Give this user all appropriate permissions. You can play around with the different policies and permissions here to set different ones, but for the purpose of this demo, we'll just give them all these permissions. Next thing we want to do is go to the configuration. So click Tools, Server Configuration. It's going to bring up our configuration view. Go to OSGI, click on the configurations. Search for the row named Apache Sling Service Mapper. Then open it up. Here, this is the key. What we want to do is put the symbolic name of the OSGI bundle here. So it's Query JCR 64 Core. That is our bundle. So if we take a look at our file path, we can see that here. We'll go down to our project, and then we'll go to Core. We'll go to Target Path. We'll go to here. We'll open it up with we'll take a look at the manifest file. So you can see the symbolic name here. That's what we're using in our UI. So switch back. This is the name that we're putting into our Java code. So if we go back to the Java code, here we can see data right. And then here's the name of our system user. So we'll switch it to data 2. So now we've put our relationship from that Sling mapping service to data 2, and we'll rerun our application to see it work with the new system user that we just set. So the last part is we're going to retest our app to make sure that the data 2 system user is still working. So we'll click Get Employees. See it's working. So everything is set up the way you need to set it up. So most important thing, set up that system user, give the appropriate permissions, use it properly in the Sling mapping service. Do not map that user to just a standard user. It has to be a system user with appropriate permissions. Once you do all that, you're going to see it working as shown in this video.